Hey guys, today I wanted to tell you a little bit about my non regrets of this year, okay? Because here's the thing, I'm not particularly someone who thinks that everything happens for a reason and that things are meant to happen or whatever, because, like, at the end of the day, life is kind of the decisions that you make. Like, some things are out of your control, but other things are. And so, but I do believe that with every decision that you make, like, every path that you go on, like, there's something to learn in that step of the process or in that decision or in that whatever. Because even if you're not learning anything in that moment, you're gonna learn something after. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not sure, like, for instance, when I was a teenager, when I was 16, I was depressed. And I remember even in that moment I was like, am I learning anything from this? Like, is there anything at least to learn from this? Because I don't know. And I was so mad because I was like, I'm going through all of this and I don't even know what I'm learning. And it wasn't until years later that I was like, no, I did learn something. I like the lesson to be learned from that. Maybe there's many lessons, but like the main one I think is, uh, the main one I think is the fact that you shouldn't obsess over somebody. You shouldn't get obsessed over somebody, like whether it is a crush. In my case, it was a crush. You shouldn't obsess over a romantic interest, over anyone that you like admire, like a family member, whoever it is, you shouldn't obsess over them because you're gonna build your I basically built well, I'm already going, you know what I mean? Like, I'm wandering when it comes to thoughts, but whatever. Like, you shouldn't obsess over somebody because your reality is gonna be built, and you're gonna build all your thoughts and all your life and your reality around them, around the idea of them. And then the moment they leave, the moment they deceive you, the moment you leave, or the moment whatever you stop seeing them for whatever reason, you're going to be so crushed and you're going to have to rewire your brain, rebuild the reality around you. And by that I mean, like, your perception of reality, because your reality was built around them and now it can't be anymore, you know. So that was a lesson, that was a big lesson that I learned. But anyway, when it comes to this year, um, the first thing I did was a master's degree. Like, I finished a master's degree, and I started it actually last year. But I wouldn't regret. I'm still gonna tell you, I wouldn't regret having done that master's degree because I met a lot of cool people from it, and I did an internship, which made me learn a lot. I don't know if I learned a lot about, like, you know, auditing and accounting and all this stuff. I don't know why I have a cut here on my finger. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see it. Um, I learned a lot about how people behave, people's intentions, like, how companies work, like in real life, and through doing that internship, and because the internship was part of the master's degree, and I met a lot of cool people. There's a lot of people that I'm still friends with. Yeah, I've learned a lot of things, and even about myself, like how to act and how, like, the way that you act and the way that you look, influences how people treat you and stuff. It's very important. What else? Um, Having interacted with a guy, there's two guys I had a crush on. So the guy that I had a crush on at the first part of the year, like, this was also a lesson that I learned before, but yeah, I feel like some things you have to keep, like, sort of learning them. Like, for instance, I made a video a few months ago talking about, like, building up, like, risk, and like practicing risk and talking to your crush. There's a lot of people who don't have the confidence to talk to their crush. I started talking to this guy that I had a crush on, the narcissist, um, since before I had, like, a huge crush on him. You know what I mean? Let's say I got over that fear before, like, the crush was already too big. So I was rather comfortable talking to him, but it had been many months since we last, like, had a conversation, whatever. And so I started, I don't know, there was like, no, there was this one time where I had a conversation with him. It was in February, and I was a little bit nervous, but it's kind of like, it's kind of one of those things that if you don't use it, you lose it. You know what I mean? Like, even if, okay, he didn't like me back or anything, nothing happened, it's fine. But when you have a crush on someone, you have to talk to them. You have to go up to them and talk to them. You know. So if you don't do that, you're never gonna know. You know what I mean? Like, if you already have the guts to talk to them, like, you have, like, half of the work is already done. Now it's on them. If they like you back, well, they're gonna ask you out, or they're gonna ask for your number, or they're gonna do something. You know what I mean? Because you're already talking. You know what I mean? So it's very important to be able to talk to your crush comfortably, because comfortably, what? I don't know. You have to be able to do that, because if you can't talk to your crush, you're never going to know, you know what I mean? Because if you talk to them, then that's it. It only takes two to tango. It's up to them. If they like you, something will happen. If they don't, that's it, you know? Another crush that I had, there was this other guy who I really liked, and I got really excited and I got delusional that he liked me back, and that, he was going to ask for my number, that he was going to text me, that he was going to yada, yada, yada. And then he ended up getting a girlfriend. It's so sad. Anyway, and what lesson is there to learn? Well, maybe he's nice to you. Maybe he's micro flirting. Maybe he's openly flirting. Maybe he's whatever. But if he doesn't ask you out, if he doesn't ask for your number, if he doesn't like text you, talk to you, whatever, like if he doesn't make an effort to talk to you, to meet up with you, to get to know you better, whatever, he doesn't like you. Nothing is going to happen. Do not get delusional because he said this thing one day, because he looked at you a certain way, because he made this like gesture, like body language or whatever. Do not get obsessed over these very little things. Do not hold on to these little moments and be delusional about it. Like, oh my God, something is going to happen. He's going to ask me out. No. Do not be delusional about it until he actually asks you out. Another lesson that I learned, and it's related to this. If somebody's attracted to you, that doesn't mean they like you. That doesn't mean they like you. And it doesn't mean they want to date you. Okay? They might want to like smash or whatever, like ideally. But if they don't, it doesn't mean they like you. If they don't ask you out, if they don't ask for your number, if they don't whatever, if they don't show you that they have an interest in you, they don't like you. That's it. And it doesn't mean they want to date you either. If he doesn't want, like, if he's attracted to you, if you can see that, and he's not asking you out, he doesn't want to ask you out. He doesn't want to be your boyfriend. He doesn't want you to be his girlfriend. Maybe he's attracted to you, but he doesn't want to put effort into you. That's it. Another lesson that I learned. So I'm on holiday right now, and I was going to be here for a month and a half, but I'm only going to be here for a month because I was going to present my master's thesis in June, but I ended up presenting it in July. So we had to change my flight. And here's the thing. I regret it because I would have wanted to spend more time here, but then I thought about this so many times. The two things that I got to experience was I lived, because my parents left before me, so, to come here. And so I lived alone for 2 weeks. So I proved to myself that, okay, I can live alone, you know what I mean? I can be the housekeeper. I can plan my day and plan what to eat and whatever, I can learn how to cook and whatever, even though I didn't cook much, but whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I could survive living alone, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't scary. It wasn't anything out of this world. Like, I was basically just doing my thing. It's just that I was not talking to anybody at home because I was alone. The other thing that I learned was I can travel internationally alone. I have to admit it. I was like, well, I'm going to have to learn how to do this. So I was like, okay, it's fine. I can do this, but I was nervous about it. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I don't know if what if it's hard? Like, you know what I mean? Like finding where I have to go or whatever. Like, I don't know. I was nervous about it. I had never done anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even have my driver's license. I was like, how am I going to cross the puddle alone? And I ended up doing it, and it was easy, and I could do it. I've done harder things than that. I proved to myself that I could do it. And there's so many people who are younger than me who have done it and all that shit. But like, I proved to myself, like, you can do it. Other people could do it. You could do it. Proved to myself that I could do it. And when I got here, I was like, I did it. I did it. You know what I mean? I went through a small period of time where I was living alone at home. And so now I can say I have lived alone, even if it was for 2 weeks. And I traveled internationally alone. So if I have to do it again, I'm going to be like, oh, I already did it, so I can do it again. It's these things that, listen, you don't have to like force yourself to do things like that, to travel internationally, to do this, to do that. You don't have to, or to live alone or whatever. Like, you don't have to force yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's not mandatory to travel alone. It's not mandatory to live alone. If you choose to do that, it's fine. If you're scared to do it, but you want to do it, try it, But I proved to myself that I could do those two things. I could live alone for a little bit, and I could travel alone. And I'm proud of that. So I think these were all the lessons that I learned this year, at least so far. I'm going to be learning more things because it's still August. So I'm probably going to be learning more things. But my point was there's a lot of things that I started sort of regretting. I was like, oh, maybe I should have, finished in June instead of July. Maybe I should have. Oh, another thing was time management. If I had managed my time better, I would have done the master's thesis in June, not in July. But I'm happy that I learned what I learned. I wouldn't have traveled alone and all that stuff. But another lesson is, okay, time management. I have to, I'm not gonna, it's one of those things where like, okay, you learned something, but you don't really, let's say, stop like getting taught a lesson until you actually learn it. Like I always learn something from time management. Like there's always something that happens that makes me regret things because I'm not good at time management. But like, I'm always going to keep going through things like time management, my poor time management skills or my non-existent time management skills. I'm going to keep dealing with things that have to do with that until I learn my lesson, until I learn how to manage my time, until I learn to not procrastinate. I'm always going to be dealing with those things until I learn my lesson. So that's another lesson I have to learn. I have to, you know, manage my time better to, to finish things earlier and then to have more time to do other things, you know? So yeah, those were all the things that I went through and all the things that I learned this year. And I don't know. This year I thought I was gonna have a lot of regrets. Like maybe I should have finished maybe earlier. Like I said, maybe I should have, not gotten delusional, whatever, all that stuff. Like I didn't want to get a crush on this guy. I shouldn't have, caught feelings, whatever. Like maybe it's a lesson. Next time, don't catch feelings. Next time, okay, talk to your crush, but don't get delusional if he's like nice or whatever. He's just, you know, doesn't mean he likes you. And I was talking about the narcissist, not the other guy who I was delusional about. And that's it. These were all the things that I wanted to say. I hope it helped you out. I hope this helped you the collective knowledge of life, I guess. I don't know. And I'll see you next time. Bye.